How you doing, guys? Welcome back to Invested Intelligence. Going to do a quick 2-minute review on Bitcoin and Binance. Going to give you guys some levels to keep in mind and expectations over the next 2 to 3 days, and then going into the weekend and what we can expect from that. So we're getting a little bit of a run now. I want to kind of set the stage. What we have here is a reversal. Okay, so price tried to go down. The expectation was it was either going to hold this level or go through this level and start to eat into this. We'll break it down on the daily in a second. But instead, we're getting a pretty decent run to the upside. Now, if this is cleared, okay, so that comes in around about sort of 31,000. Then the expectation is it's going to keep running through this LP and all of this area over here, which has been a pretty strong level, both sides, as it's been hitting this level from both sides. The expectation is that we'll get through this, grind through it, probably hit 32, maybe 33,000. I wouldn't expect an explosive move, more like a grind through this level and a continuation to the upside. What this also does is it gives us a very clear indication now going forward that if we do get below these lows, then we are most likely going to dip into this imbalance, probably end up around about between 22.5 and around about 24.5, somewhere in here. But for now, everything looks hunky-dory. You can see it on the daily chart, just kind of mapped out a little bit. It's coming into an LP on the way back up, but again, if this is cross through, it's basically negating the move. It's more like I guess what would be classed as a traditional stop run, in quotation marks. So we'll see how that fares. Again, looking pretty good, looking pretty strong. Not seeing any signs that it wants to go lower at this point. We're expecting or watching very closely to see what price was going to do here. Now, it is possible, obviously, that this gets reversed. If it does, that's a different story altogether, because if it takes out this low, then we are eating into this imbalance and it's going to go straight for that 24.5, like I said. But again, for now, high prices. Key level just above 31. You want to see price get through 31 for a grind to 32 to 34. And if price gets below 27, and breaks that again, then I'm expecting prices to go to 24.5. Let's get over to Binance. So Binance, again, just grinding, a little bit different in terms of its structure and the way that this is forming. It's almost as though it's kind of grinding up to just have a little bit of a pop, which may look like it's going to really go. And then I think we're probably going to get something like this candle right here. Okay, it's almost like this, and then just a snapback. All right, so that's what I'm seeing on Binance. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is going to unfold, but I have a very strong suspicion that Binance is being heavily manipulated at the moment. But that's how I see it. This is what I'm thinking. If it does start to go and it does pop, the likelihood is that it will get as close to this high as possible, probably very close to 400. If that's the case, and it does do what I'm expecting, in terms of, right, I'll say that again, not what I'm expecting to happen, but in terms of the way that this is forming in the structure of price. If it does go, it's likely to pop into 400, and then you get a bit of price sensitivity from there. But again, I'm not touching Binance. I'm not touching Bitcoin. I'm being very, very cautious, very patient. And it is looking like this is going to get dragged on through the summer and going into the fall before we see some movement. One last thing to be mindful of: FOMC federal funds rate. So the interest rate is going to be on May the 3rd, Wednesday, 7 o'clock in the evening, UK time. So just be mindful of this. This can obviously cause an immense amount of volatility. And obviously, dollar's not faring very well, and I think we're still going to see 100 on the dollar. I'm convinced of that. But obviously that rate announcement is going to affect the dollar, which is ultimately going to affect everything else. So bear that in mind. With all that said, I hope everyone's having an absolutely fantastic day or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to speaking to you in the next update. All the best. Take care. Ciao for now.